This is a video critique for 1170 Cupid raiseSphere. Most of the issues with this are just general posing. Most of what happens here is kind of repetitive on a per character basis, so all that really needs to happen is that each character has a really strong core pose in the first place, and then everything will follow from there. So one thing I would suggest doing is tilting the camera down a little bit actually by the end, just a bit. Down a bit, because we've got an awful lot of dead space up here. I appreciate it was probably like that in the layout, but you can just pull it down a little bit. It might be not a lot, but perhaps what you do is you start. No, that probably does need to be like that actually. So by the end we just want to cut the frame down a bit, maybe by this much, so that we don't have quite so much dead space in there. That's all for that. Other big thing was Cupid's pose. Now straight away he's kind of stretched out here. Now in the previous shot, if you watch the edit, let's see if I can find it for you. It's 1170. Here we go. So in the previous one he's in this pose. So like this, right? So this arm is out here controlling death, and this one he's just done that. So you're hitting this V pose, and that's the pose you need to get. Basically this arm's gone like that, so you need to start in that V pose. If you then want to go into this pose to open up, that's fine, just you've got to start in that V pose. So that will bring that hand much more over here. So I would, for starters, arch his back the other way, put his head this way, and then there's the wand, like that. Now if you want to, you can cheat this other arm a little bit to create a more interesting pose. You could put his elbow back and over here, so that the line is more like that, but certainly we need that V pose initially. And then perhaps by here he can back away and have that arm go back out the other way then. Now if at all possible, it would be nice if she's not coming straight into camera. The best thing to do there is probably to just tilt her. So if she's currently facing into camera like that, then you just need to do that with it, so that her tail's off that way. If necessary, we will cheat and make the beam arc or something in order to achieve that. But so that pose is a little bit better than that pose, because she's going right into camera there. And that then brings me to the biggest thing, which is actually just these hands. They need to be coming from they can be coming from lots of different directions, but there was definitely some that will have come from here like this, and they will be coming behind Cupid as well, like from there, and there might even be some in the foreground here like that. So this one, for example, coming from here, he's fine, but really I would rather have a few coming from over here, so as though they came from behind that chair. Okay. Then when they start pressing up against the thing, this is a little bit too frantic, and it's coming from the wrong direction. See, these are kind of pushing, the lines are going in all directions. What would be better is if they're more focused on pushing up. So if there's going to be any wiggle, it's all in this direction, like that. Does that make sense? So that they're pushing hard in the upward direction. Now some of these guys under at the bottom aren't too bad, like this one here isn't too bad. So we just want to get, and at the moment they've got a little bit too much thrashing. Think of it like a swimmer. He's going to be thrashing, but the energy is all being pushed along in one particular axis. Here at the moment they're just flat thrashing in all directions, which wouldn't project the energy in any particular direction. So this guy down here, for example, when he flicks all the way up here, That's too much, because what's he pushing against? That's just random flicking about. What he needs to be doing is creating a sine wave, a flag cycle that pushes the energy down. Okay. Other than that, those were the main points, and it's coming along nicely. Well done.